to explain what is a Kano analysis. Dr. Kano, Noriaki Kano, is a professor of one of the Japanese university, and he created very interesting concept, must be and attractive quality concept. He said, okay, quality is break down into the several elements, like a quality requirements, you see. So you can break down it. Traditionally, we thought that if the function of the products or services fulfilled, then customer satisfied. But on the contrary, if the function is not well, customer dissatisfied. We call this relation as one-dimensional. Okay? It's the products dysfunction, maybe dissatisfied. And if the product has a good function, then customer satisfied. We call it as a one-dimensional. But Dr. Kano says, this is not all the case. In some case, it happens in a different way. Let me give you the one example. For example, if you take the plane arrives on time, what do you feel? Do you delighted? Maybe. At least I'm not. I say, it must be. But if the airplane delays, I'm very much dissatisfied. We call it as must be quality. You see this line? If the function is not good, very much dissatisfied. But if the function well, even you are not very much satisfied. Just you said must be. We call it must be quality. I give you another example. That is attractive quality. Let me use the same example in an airplane. You travel with economy class, but airplane serves a good champagne or good wine, and you are of course free of charge. What do you think about? At least I'm very much delighted. Okay? But even they don't serve the wine or champagne free of charge. I say neutral. I'm not dissatisfied at all. We call this as attractive quality element. You can see, even the dysfunctions, customer not dissatisfied, neutral. And if function well, they delighted. We call attractive quality. This concept creates very much insight of the quality requirements. And one of the greatest points of Dr. Kano is to create a methodology to find out which element is must be, which element is attractive, etc. He created questionnaire. This questionnaire consists of the two parts, function part and dysfunction part. If you could access your account at ATMs from any location worldwide, how would you feel? This is an example of the ATM machine. You can access any place from worldwide. This function well. Then answer is, I like it that way. It must be that way. I am neutral. I can live with it that way. I dislike it that way. What do you think about? In my case, I like it that way. And this questionnaire consists of another part, dysfunction part. This is a dysfunction part. If you could access your account at ATMs from small limited locations worldwide, not functioned well. What do you think about? I am neutral. Okay? So you ask the customer two sets of questions. What do you feel if the function well? If the other question is, what do you feel if the function is not work well? Then you get the answer. Okay? In this case, I said, when the function well, I like it. But in these functions, I am neutral or live with. Then they say this is attractive quality. So you can evaluate each quality element through the questionnaire, two sets of questionnaire, and this table. So this is the greatest invention of the new tools to see the insight of voice of customer. Let me show the example of ATM machine. Worldwide access is attractive quality element. 76% of the people say this function is very much attractive. And also cardless ID is very much attractive. 71% of the people say attractive. On the contrary, here, reliability. 88% of people say must be. Of course, I very much understand this must be. And complete networking or user-friendly is one-dimensional. This is a Kano analysis. Kano analysis has three great benefits. First benefit is you can see the insight of the voice of customer, whether it is must be or attractive or one dimension or etc. That's the first benefit. Second benefit, you can create a good strategy of new product development. For example, okay, if you miss your product, don't have the must be quality, what happens? Customer complain, dissatisfied and complain. Then your company cannot survive. And if your company, if your product does not have the attractive quality, then customer does not delight. Then you have not big sales. So you know the strengths and weakness of your current product through this kind of analysis. And also you know the strategy, which part should be emphasized in your products. That's the second benefit. Third benefit, if you compare the characteristic of your products with competitors' characteristic, if you compare with your products and competitors, then you can make the differentiate your product from the competitors. For example, competitor has a good reliability, but not have the good attractive quality. Then you focus to the attractive quality. Then you can get the differentiate from the competitor. This Kano analysis is very, very useful tools and methodology. This is a Kano analysis. I really hope you use it and listen from the Richard painting how they use this useful methodology to their new product development.
We have a requirement. The requirement is installation and safety cable can be done by hand with shorter time. And you can see that was a must-be. We looked at some competitive products, and this is the benchmarking part of our Kano, and we could see that attachment was difficult for brand A, And in brand B, it could be attached, but you have to do that with a screwdriver, so you had to have the right screwdriver with you. Another issue, a requirement, was that the sound volume adjustment can be easily done without special tools in case you need more sound here than there, like in a waiting room less, in a foyer more. So here, that was an attractive, not a must-be, but it was a very attractive thing to be able to do this easily. Here we see that our competition needed 5 to 10 minutes to do this.
That's a long time.
You have to unbolt the thing, pull it out, and change connections. The other guys here, the company B, could do it, but they required a special tool, an Allen key to go in and turn the control. So this was our thing. We looked at this and we knew that these were must-be and attractive, so we did design appropriately.
What is your experience to apply the Kano analysis? Maybe you can get the whole picture of the requirement.
Yes. Yeah, you get a complete picture of the requirements. The other thing that you get is it's a very good way of knowing which requirements matter and which don't. Because when we did our requirements KJ, we evaluated what we thought was important and what was not important.
I see.
But when you have the feedback from the customer stated in percentages of must-be's, attractives, should-be's, then we could tell straight away which things to focus on, the vital few.
What is the data 2?
That's data 2.
Okay.
And that helps us going through into the next section that we want to look at, of course, which was our selection or solution selection to go through. And we had very many solutions. Of all of the different types of solutions, these are just some of them here. One of them has a number 31 on it, so it gives you some idea of the number of concepts. From those, we could take the Kano data and then weigh the Kano data, make a metrics out of it, and be able then to look at each one of the concepts and say this one scored 20% higher than that one in this important requirement. And then picking the highest scoring concepts for each requirement, then we could take the best sub-concepts and join them together into one product that would meet the customer's requirements.
That's a prototype.
That's the prototype, and that's where we build the first prototype. And just let me show you what that was. So here's the first prototype of the product that we put together, SLA, the screen, and wires.
I see.
Not official plug, it's a prototype plug. But you can see the beginning of the concept, even the first metal can, has come together. That must be metal can, fireproof to meet the fire code. The grill on the front must be metal because it can be painted, unlike cloth, to match the color of the surroundings and therefore be aesthetically pleasing. It must have the mounting tabs for the quick mounting. And then it must have the box built in the back, no extra boxes for the connectors to go in, very quick installation. So all of these things came together as the little sub-concepts here. The Kano thing could tell us which was important. We could then put them all together and produce the prototype that met the customer's requirements. Now what we did then was, having built the prototype, we then went out and we field test the prototype. And that's a fairly small field test because there's only handmade ones at this stage, but we actually take a building, an area, and we install them.
You have a very good story about the field test.
Yes. We did some tests and we thought we had all the answers. We had been very clever in getting all the building regulations and looking at the heights of ceilings and knew we had all the space, but in fact in showing this to our Holland people in Holland, in Amsterdam, the issue was that the ceiling clearance was much lower because it's a very old building. It's built 300 years ago, no building code.
I see.
And so actually we had to shrink things a little bit to make sure that it would fit all construction.
I see. That is the data 3.
That's data 3. Plus another situation that we had and we can talk more about it later, but we had a cost overrun too that was clear by the time we got to the field stage. And we knew that the product was too expensive for some applications, so we had to go back and take another look at things there as well. From there, we took the data from the field evaluation, matched it against the requirements that had been defined in the Kano and the metrics that we had for the specification, and we could see there were some differences in performance, and we used those differences to correct the prototype and to come through then to the final prototype, which is actually the one we see over here.
This is the final one?
Final one, yes.
Very difference of size.
Well, actually, yes, there's a difference of size, but we actually discovered that we needed two models. One for high-pressure sound for big areas, and one that was less costly, but provided enough sound for the smaller areas. And this was one means of course, being able to address the requirement for low-level sound levels at a much cheaper cost, but deliver the same performance.
Okay, great story. Okay, so you follow this WV model.
Correct.
You nicely produce a new product from here, interview, and translate the quality requirement.
Correct.
And get data too. And also you get another data from the field test. Then you create a good product. Then what is the benefit in the overall when you apply the proactive improvement approach?
There are many.
Or you can say that some weakness of traditional approach.
Well, yeah, the weaknesses of the traditional approach were that if you'd have got into trouble, as I said, Shoji, we made a mistake when we did this. We did not do this perfectly. We did not have in our team a fully cross-functional team.
Yes.
We forgot to put a procurement, a purchasing guy on our team, and we did not have a manufacturing engineer until very late. And what happened was we got through, as we said, to essentially field testing and discovered that our product was too expensive as we had designed it.
Oh, I see. So
beautiful performance, but too much cost. Now we're in trouble. We have to make a new product. What happened was a very interesting thing that built all our faith in a proactive solution, because instead of having to go back to the beginning, we had many concepts generated here.
I see.
And very good data, because all of this is self-documenting. So we have a documented trail. We can go back to the concepts. We looked at the concepts and just said, okay, with the new set of concerns, which is the best concepts? So we went through and then redid the concepts off the old information.
Yes.
Got a new concept, and in 24 hours had a new prototype which met the requirements that we had found in the errors between field testing and evaluate. So we could recover very quickly. It allowed our people to be very creative, very fast, because they had a database of problems and solutions, and they understood the problem very well. So the creative people solved it in less than one day.
Okay, you said there is a good process and standardized process, and also the good documentation, and therefore it is easy to feedback and easy to start from here.
Absolutely. Another benefit of this process was it's very well documented, Shoji. So we have at Bose, and I'm sure it's true in many other companies, we have phase reviews where to get money or approval to start it from a concept through to a specification development, and then specification, once it's issued, to develop the whole product in production, which costs a lot of money. So we have the executives do a review. Normally this is a very scary thing, because you go up and they find all sorts of faults in what you've done, and many holes. You've forgotten many things. When we did this, we went up, our documentation was just so good that the guys sort of had a make my day attitude. Any question you can ask, we have the answer for. and they got through. We have scoring. We have metrics on the quality of these phase reviews. This phase review got the highest score we ever had, and also from the marketing standpoint, it was the best marketing presentation, was a little footnote on the evaluation when we finished. So it was a quantum leap in the quality of performance at the phase review and in the confidence that management had in this product being developed successfully, because they could see the level of detail that the crew had gone to and the considerations, the customer feedback, that these were real requirements, not imagined requirements, and that there was a plan for executing them, and they had been tested and evaluated all the way along the chain.
Okay, Richard. Oh, it was a so great story, starting from the traditional old products and develop this kind of new product through this proactive approach. And finally, what is your impressions to apply the proactive improvement?
Creativity got very much higher because of one thing: we understood the problem a whole lot better, and so the creative people could work a whole lot faster, and they could work independently, because not only did we understand the problem at the highest level, we understood it in detail, so the details could be worked on in parallel.
Oh, that may be teamwork.
Teamwork also, because more than that, because of course in this proactive process, you work so closely together that you build very close team relationships personally. And this also makes things move faster, because communication is better.
Creativity first.
Creativity, team building, and team communication makes for very fast development of a new product.
What's the second?
Second one was process. And the process was very important from two aspects. One was the documentation. That this process is self-documenting. As you go through, it generates a set of documents like our KJ over here, etc. So you've got a follow-through of all the information. And that in turn leads to great flexibility. We had a situation where we ran over cost on the product, and we had to go back and revisit the concepts. We didn't have to go to the beginning. We had the table of matrix of concepts. We could go in, select a new concept, and we recovered in 24 hours. You could not possibly do that without the documented process. That allowed, the creativity to come back.
And also maybe it's easier to persuade your management or phase review.
Yes, it is. In the phase reviews, we have metrics on phase reviews. The phase review for the first program that we put through a proactive development got the highest score that we ever had. And the marketing presentation was the best marketing presentation we ever had, because management could see that we had thought the process through, that we had tested all of our concepts and tested them back to the marketplace, more importantly through the Kano, so there was great solid belief in what we were doing, both with the team and management.
So you can get the overall perspective, 360
degree view, and that was management's usual concern, because teams are very often blind. They look at one thing that interests them, and they're not looking at the full picture.
Okay, then what is the result? Is it shorter the time?
Yes, it was shorter time, and the other interesting thing was that there were much less design errors. One of the things we looked at was engineering change notices.
I see.
And this program had less engineering change notices than the earlier programs. So things were getting done right the first time, rather than having been corrected in the process much later, because the design crew knew what they had to do in front, not discover it at the end.
Okay, Richard, thank you very much. A great story about such a great new product development. Today, Richard spoke about real case of the new product development through the proactive approach. But please remember, proactive approach is not only for the new product development. You can apply proactive approach to the strategic decision making or new marketing or any places. So this is a new frontier of the TQM. We are now focusing for the total participation revolution. Of course, there is one more revolution in societal networking revolution. But let's focus today total participation revolution. And I hope you remember the CEO's involvement is one of the key factors for the total participation revolution. But the purpose of the total participation is to achieve the corporate goal. All the department, all the section, all the improvement team must harmonize to the total goal and to achieve the total goal. And I spoke this, I said, CEO's initiation and leadership is one of the key factors. But no matter how strong the CEO's leadership or involvement is too strong, CEO alone cannot not introduce TQM into entire organization. So that we need the organizational infrastructure in order to mobilize the whole the organization. If the size of organization is smaller, like 100 or 200, maybe you need not such a organizational infrastructure. But if the organization becomes 1,000 or 10,000, you surely need the organizational infrastructures. Otherwise, CEO cannot introduce a successful TQM. But I hope you still remember CEO's involvement or CEO's initiation is not top-down. Okay? Such a mobilization needs non-enforcement activities. It is easy to align the organization with enforcement from top to down. Okay? But this is not that is not a TQM way. If you enforce each element of the organization to align to the corporate goal, what happens? The creativity or their initiative of the each unit easily to disappear. Just follow the instruction. That follow the order. It's a disaster. So we need the alignment without enforcement. Then how to do it? Give the information from the boss and peers, information from the customer, give the corporate policy, etc. And make the environment for all the employees to move to the certain corporate goal. The system to create such an environment is organizational infrastructure. We call 7 organizational infrastructures. There are 7 infrastructures. We call 7 because 7 we believe that's a lucky number. So we summarize the infrastructure up to the 7. Okay. What are the 7 organizational infrastructures? Number 1 is goal setting. Next, organization setting. Third, training and education and promotions. And diffusion of success stories. And training and education and promotion is really pushing the TQM activities. And also we need some infrastructure pulling the TQM activities. Those are incentives and awards. And monitoring and diagnosis. Then once you get a good output, feedback to the TQM activities, we call it as diffusion of success stories. This is also the one of the part of the pushing elements. So we need some activities to goal setting and organization. This oriented the new activity within the organization. Then next, push training and education and promotion and diffuse success story, and also pull the TQM activities through the incentive and awards and monitoring and diagnosis. These we call the 7 organizational infrastructures. This kind of infrastructure helps CEO to diffuse and promote the TQM activities throughout or entire organization. So now let me explain each element one by one. Goal setting. When you introduce something new activity like a TQM activities, what is necessary at the beginning? Many people think that why is TQM necessary now? If we are doing our job well, this is a common and universal questions when you introduce a TQM into the organization. Many people really thinking that, oh, we are doing job, good job. They want to know why we need a TQM. Many people say TQM is an extra job. Why need such extra job? So the first, at first you have to answer clearly toward these questions. And then next is to show what is a TQM and what is a goal, what is a direction of the TQM. These are goal setting. So the goal has some hierarchies. Goal setting needs 3 elements: noble goal, and intermediate goal, and annual goal. Noble goal and annual goal is very common in all the companies. Noble goal is like a contribute to the society, or very higher noble objectives. Let's show the one example of the noble goal of the Hewlett-Packard. They say, our intent is to provide products of the higher quality and the greatest possible value to our customers, thereby gaining and holding their respect and loyalty. This is very quite a noble goal. And many companies have such a noble goal, for example, to contribute to the society, also the noble goal. And also, most of the company has an annual target. How much the sales target and market share, etc. These are yearly annual goals. But TQM needs intermediate goal. This is one of the inventions of the TQM. Many employees not only work for the noble goal, not only for the annual goal, they need the intermediate goal. Let me show the one good example of the intermediate goal. This is Teradyne's intermediate goal. They say we need a market share up. And also they say cost down and cycle time down for the new product development. So they say 2C, therefore C square, and market share, MC square. This is a very great invention, I think. Everyone easy to remember, and the meaning is very clear. Not so noble and higher abstract, but not so well concrete as a business goal. So they understand what is the direction of the TQM really want to achieve. Market share, cost down, cycle time down. That's so great information, message, great message to the everybody. This we call the intermediate goal. Excellent companies, those who introduce a successful TQM always have such an intermediate goal. Xerox company always says benchmarking. This is an intermediate goal. Good invention of the US company. And Motorola says Six Sigma. This is also the intermediate goal. Benchmarking means to learn the best practice of other company. That's a good message to all the employees. And Motorola Six Sigma means nearly zero defects. Nearly zero defects. Our products need zero defects. That's a good message. Okay. The excellent company, if you really want to the successful introduction of the TQM, you need a good intermediate goal, as well as a noble goal and annual goals. This is goal setting. Okay, let's move to the second. Organization setting. When you introduce a TQM into the organization, you need a new types of organization. There are two essential components of TQM organization. There is the CEO. Okay. Then under the CEO, functional vice president or divisional head here. So you need two components of organization. One is TQM committee. The other is the TQM office. TQM committee consists of the G's top managers. Okay. Then discuss about the direction or policy or goal of a TQM and improvement of the TQM activities itself. And the TQM office play the role of supporting this TQM committee and do the daily job of a TQM promotions. TQM office must directly report to the CEOs because TQM office plays a role and support the CEO's activities. And of course, each factory or each division needs the same structures, committee and TQM managers. So this kind of two organization is really promotes the TQM activities. Well, let me show the one example of the Teradyne again. They have the company-wide quality council. The member of the council is the top managers. And under the CEO's company-wide TQM office. And Teradyne has several number of factories here. Each factory has the same factory-wide quality councils. And also each factory has a TQM managers. This is a TQM organization and goal setting. But come back to the TQM office. Who should be the member of the TQM office? The most important point is who should be the head of the TQM office. There are three notes to appoint head of the TQM office. Number one, not quality specialist. It sounds strange. If you appoint the quality specialist as a head of the TQM office, what happens? Everyone thinks that, oh, he is a TQM specialist. So let him do the quality improvement. He is a specialist. Okay, let him do. That's a mistake. As I spoke to you, total participation means to eliminate the quality specialist from the organization. All the people must participate in the quality improvement. No specialist exists in the organization for quality improvement. So please appoint a line manager, good line manager, and make him as a head of the TQM office. Line manager studies the TQM enthusiastically, and he understands TQM quickly. Then he can play the role. Then, secondly, not appoint outsider. TQM office is a kind of catalyst to change the organization. So the head of the, especially head of the TQM office, must understand the culture and history of your organization. So that if the outsider comes and to be a head of the TQM office, he don't know the history of your company and don't know the culture of your company. So you, head of the TQM office, must be the insider and not the quality specialist, but line manager. And thirdly, not authoritarian. Authoritarian means the person who do the job by the power, just order. Okay? Head of the TQM office or TQM office has no power at all. He is a kind of staff, so he has no power. Then only way he promotes the TQM is persuading and good communication and talk. So the person just do the job by the power cannot be a good person for to be a head of the TQM office. Please remember these three elements. This is a key factor for success of the TQM in your organization. And after you appoint the line manager to the head of the TQM office, after 2 or 3 years, he transferred to the line managers again, and I hope he promote to the higher rank of the position in the organization. Many CEOs in Japanese company step up from the head of the TQM office. I can show the many examples in the Japanese company. This is a way the TQM is implanted into the organization and promoted into the organization. I spoke goal setting and organization setting. Now we come to the next infrastructure. That is pushing the TQM activities. One of the pushing element is training and education. Training and education is a very powerful infrastructure to pushing TQM activities. One of the famous professor in Japan, Kaoru Ishikawa, said, TQC start with training and end with training. TQC means the same meaning as TQM, what we are saying. Japanese always says TQC instead of TQM. And train continuously, and not only continuously, train all personnel from top to the bottom. Okay. Top management, leaders or quality improvement teams, and senior managers, middle managers, and workers. Not only all the personnel, but also train all aspects of TQM. There are many aspects in the TQM. Basic concept, improvement methodology, and organizational mobilization strategy, and diagnosis skill, and teamwork, and etc. All the people and all the aspects must teach continuously. This is really a key factor for pushing the TQM activities. But there are seven principles for successful training and education. First is a plan the input to train to reduce the variance of output. Don't use education professional to teach. These are number 1, 2. These are related to the input of the education. Okay. Here is the education and the training. What are the input of the education and training? Here, participants and contents. Participant of the seminar and what you going to teach, that's the contents, and the instructor. These are key elements for the input to the education. Okay? So if the participant is varies, there are different motivation, different skills, though output become poor. So you have to stratify the participant in the same type of participant. Okay? Don't mix up the different type of participant for the training. Okay? Senior manager needs their own training, and quality improvement team leader needs their own training. So stratify the training. That's number 1. Okay? And also contents must be standardized. Okay? So you need a good textbook, like you have to make this kind of a textbook. Okay? And standardize the textbook. That's very important. And also, again, the instructor. Who should be the instructor? Okay. Please look again the number 2 principle. Don't use education professionals to teach. If you use educational professionals, what happens again? Everyone says, or quality specialist or professional should teach. We are just learning. That's a wrong way. We are talking about total participation. Everyone must teach. Okay? So the line manager or both teach directly. But in this case again, contents of the teaching must be standardized, and instructor must train how to teach. And also teaching is a good way to study the TQM. If you teach yourself, you surely understand what is a TQM. Okay? So utilize the line managers to teach your subordinate. Okay? So this is an input. Then next is use mutual learning, not the traditional teacher-student roles. This related to the teaching or learning style here. When you teach the train people's learning style is important as well as input. Okay? What kind of learning style is good? There is a traditional learning style. I can write here. Here is a great master. Great master. Oh, he speaks a great words. Then everyone should listen and should listen. And great master says great words. This is a traditional way of teaching. TQM don't want this kind of teaching and training. We try to avoid this kind of teaching. Our ideal training is here. I hope you know that this very famous painting, Henry Matisse dance. Okay? Everyone is the same. There is no difference of teacher and learner. We learn each other. We call the mutual learning. Mutual learning. All people become a teacher. Each person is a genius. Okay? So we have to learn each other together. This is a TQM's teaching and learning style. Use mutual learning, not the traditional teacher-student role. Also, again, another teaching style. Avoid learn first, apply later. Unite both learning and applications. There is another traditional way of teaching here. I often hear such a story. Oh, we don't learn enough. I learn not enough, so I cannot practice. Or I don't learn well, so I cannot teach others. That is a wrong concept. Learn first, then apply. This is quite traditional. We go to the school, we go to seminar, and completely learn. Then we can apply. This is not true. When you study something, you learn something little. And apply immediately what we have learned. Then you understand what you don't understand, so what you need to learn. Then you learn again and apply. Then you understand more about what you have to learn. Then learn again.
So this is a way we teach the TQM methodology. Avoid run first, apply later. Maybe I can say apply